African lady. African lady. African lady.
soul this morning, this morning. Something precious more than gold this morning. Morning neighbor, hear me, I scream and shout, what's the matter? She asked me what it's all about. Something burning, burning deep within my soul. And this feeling I just can't control. I don't know if it's real, but I want to tell the world how I feel. You should love thy neighbor as thyself, I sing, and put an end to violence today. Help your fallen brother by the way, and surely we will see a brighter day. Neighbor, 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 love thy neighbor. Neighbor, 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 love thy neighbor. We should live in love, oh neighbor. Come, come, come. La 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 la. Oh, oh, oh. I've got to let the whole world know this morning, this morning. 'Cause I never felt this way before. This morning, I don't know if it's just a dream. This morning, this morning, but it really makes me want to sing. This morning, little children, hear me, come gather round. Oh my children, I beg you, hold hand in hand. Are you ready to sing a song of peace and be happy? In a time like this, it's not yet too late. We could break down the barriers of hate. You should love thy neighbor as thyself, I say, and put an end to violence today. Help your fallen brother by the way, and surely we will see a brighter day. Neighbor, 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 love thy neighbor. Neighbor, 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 love thy neighbor. Mush it up. No more violence and crime this morning, this morning. It's reconciliation time this morning. No more jealousy and grudge this morning, this morning. You scratch my back, I'll scratch yours this morning. Greed and envy will be no more. Dishonesty, oh baby, show it how to do. Disrespectfulness must get a blow. We must try our best and let love grow. And when the right time comes, I know for sure our days will be long. You should love thy neighbor as thyself, I say, and put an end to violence today. Help your fallen brother by the way, and surely we will see a brighter day. Neighbor, 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 love thy neighbor. Neighbor, 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 love thy neighbor. Reach out and touch thy neighbor. Too long we living like strangers. Reach out and touch thy neighbor. Too long we living like strangers. Neighbor, 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 love thy neighbor. Neighbor, 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 love thy neighbor. Come, reach out and touch thy neighbor. Too long we living like strangers. Reach out and touch thy neighbor. I tell you, too long we living like strangers. Neighbor, 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 love. Como ça va, Mama Ken? Land of roots and culture. Oh, Mama Ken, I'm a cutter. Como ça va, Mama? Mama Ken, hele. Mama hele. Come de kwa Mama hele. Mama hele. Mama Ken, hele. Mama hele. Come de kwa Mama hele. Bese, bese. Bese, auntie, bese, bese. Teach them roots and culture, Tiba. Jinga, jinga. Teach them to play the drums. Teach them. Alafia. Mama Mary, where you gone? So many sons and daughters of whom we are so proud. You always show your thought. And good night to you, Grenada, Carriacou, and Petit Martinique. Once again, it is time for talking points here. No, I ain't hearing it myself, so let me move it closer. Nice, yeah. And I think I'm not hearing it because my headphone is off, yeah. And a special good night to each and every one of you. Hope that you all are having a fabulous night tonight. Well, isn't that strange? I can hear the music, I can't hear myself on the So I hope the audio is okay. I had to be fighting up with it for at least 15 minutes before we came on air, because remember the problem we were having 2 Fridays ago? It came back, yeah, so I had to be fighting with it. But we're good now. Yes, man reaches a shining star for all to see, and whoever thought it would be. Good night to all the listeners who are joining us tonight. It's the Friday Night Forum, yes. Edson Mitchell and me. Mama Canaele, Mama Hele, Mama Neto, Mama Taele, Mama Hele, Mama Canaele, Mama Hele, Mama Neto, Mama Taele. And remember, when it comes to the Friday Night Forum, the phone lines are open from the time you hear we start speaking. So the phone lines are open, 14734407377. Remember to like and share the program. We say a special good night to all of you joining us via the Facebook. Let's see who is there. Landon Jane, Rhonda, George, you're there. And I see, let me see who else is there tonight. Winnie Simon, Martin Charles, Lynn Joseph, Shirley Lacrette, Nicole Alexander, Roses Lewis, Cynthia B, Elizabeth Douglas, June Henry, John Mark, Max Courtney, Ingrid Bourne, Errol Bonaparte. Yeah, just some of those who are on with us tonight on the Facebook. And let me see the YouTube. Moko Pin! That springs people, man. Moko Joseph, good night to you. Chris London. Charmaine Ragbasing, good night to you, Charmaine. Let me see who else is there. Who else is there? Who else is there? Oswald Belfon, Ron Julian, and I see Christine Alexander, Alban Harris, Janice Mitchell. I see Olive McEwen, Shirley and James, Treasure and John, Patrick Frank, Errol Bonaparte, Jefferson Hagley, Denny Sandy, Raphael Williams, Casimir Thomas, Alcy Peters, Dalton Shawn, the lovely Mrs. Watts, and Adrian Watts, Edmund Callis, Lishra Abraham, Teresa Joseph, Agnes Henry, Deborah Flanders, Anastasia Peters, Sherma Jeremiah, Kathleen Ledlow, Lona Lolo Williams, Debbie Seals. Good night to each and every one of you joining us. And I say a special, special, special good night to you, Mrs. Maureen Macfield. Good night to you. And good night to Mr. Hudson Macfield as well. Good night to Martin and Mrs. V. Yeah, Richie, good night to you. Good night to my good friends across the road from Martin and Miss V. Yeah, good night to both of you as well. And I hope that you're having a wonderful night tonight. Yeah, good night to Mr. and Mrs. Cruikshank, who I have not heard from or seen for the longest while. But good night to all of you, and I hope that you all are having a fabulous night. Let me play my team song these days. And we know right now it's taking place at the new National Party headquarters over there in Tempe, St. George.
In my father's house.
Yeah, I'm not wrong. I can't go.
There are many mansions. If it wasn't so, I would have told you.
Somebody who they call me.
Oh, yo. Walking in the footsteps.
Somebody who's at the headquarters, give me a call.
Of the Lord. I wake up in the morning, and before I eat my bread, brother man, I get on my knees and I give Jah praise. The day was not so moving.
And let me start this one again because I'm dedicating this one to two people tonight. I'm dedicating this one to Mrs. Marina McPhill and to Camille Teresa Scott. Yeah, so we're taking this one from the top and we're going with it again, man. Yeah.
In my father's house, there are many mansions. If it wasn't so, I would have told you. For you, walking in the footsteps of the Lord. I wake up in the morning, and before I eat my bread, brother man, I get on my knees and I give Jah praise. The day was not so moving, but before I got to bed, brother man, I get on my knees and I give Jah praise. 'Cause things could have been so different if you didn't love me. I say things could have been so very different if you didn't love me. Jah build my house, no man can break it down. Jah build my house, no man can break it down. I say Jah build my house, nobody couldn't break it down. Jah build my house, no man can break it down. Wicked people, make no sense, you try. Jah watch over right. Jah build my house, no man can break it down. No way. Jah build my house, nobody couldn't break it down. I say Jah build it, Jah build my house. On solid rock I stand.
Yes, indeed. And let me say a special good night to the Ford, Chris Ford. Yeah, up there in Ford. Brandon, let me see, Vernon, Anne-Marie, Rosanna, Sherry, and Dale, Marilyn, the entire family up there in Ford. And they send out special good night to the Honorable Emlyn Pear and Sister Amanda Japal George. Also to their former MP, Mrs. Yolanda Bain Hosford. And that's coming out there from the Ford crew.
Oh, my father, oh Lord, they can break it down. The weather keep on changing in a funny kind of way, but I get on my knees and I give Jah praise. When and what is coming.
Remember, the phone lines are open, 1473-440-7377. It is the Friday Night Forum.
Weather man can say, I get on my knees and I give Jah praise.
I had hoped to have a certain guest on, but forgot tonight was the New National Party activity at the headquarters, the end of month Lime. So I ain't getting that guest tonight. I'll have them on for next week Friday. Once we're having the Friday Night Forum next week Friday, I'll have them on. And we'd like to say thank you to all of those who made the Friday Night Forum possible this week. Since people don't want me to give the name, I'll give the initials. LP, good night to you.
Love me. I say things could have been so very brutal if you didn't love me. Jah build my house, no man can break it down. I say
Also, let me say a special good night to CT. Yeah, thank you very much for ensuring that the Friday Night Forum could happen this week, yeah?
Jah build my house, nobody can break it
People ain't want me to get a name, so I give them the initials, yeah?
down. Jah build my house, no man can break it down. No way. Jah build my house, nobody can break it down.
To my cousin D out there in Carriacou, yeah, thank you so much. Good night to you as well.
Jealous people, stop your mama guy. Jah watch over right. Jah build my house, no man could break it down. I say Jah.
And to the folks who pass by Kiami, yes, good night to you all as well. I don't have the names, you all just here.
Build my house, nobody couldn't tear it
But you know who you are.
down. No way. Jah build it, me father build my house.
I tell all you, that's team song now, you know.
Oh Lord. On solid rock I stand. I try my best to live up and to do what Jah say. So I get on my knees and I give Jah praise. But the devil keep on setting tons and pieces
Kamita McPhee, good night to you.
in my
Good night to mommy.
Way.
Good night to wifey.
Still I get on my knees and I give your praise. 'Cause things could have been so gloomy if you didn't love me. I know things could have been so very foggy if you didn't love me. Jah build my house, no man can break it down. Jah build my house, nobody couldn't break it down. I say, Jah build my house.
Jocelyn Matheson, good night to you. Vaughan Wellington, Maud Madeline, Christine Otley, Red Girl Pascal.
No man can.
Indeed, Chris London as they're fighting up as usual, making sure the job gets done. Ann Andrews, Karen Spice.
Break it down.
And I realize Moko and Chris is the two soldiers they just be battling.
No way.
Ezekiel, good night to you. Yeah.
Jah build my house, nobody couldn't break it down.
Anne-Marie, good night to you. Glenda John, good night.
Tell them he them stop him, mama God.
I see Salam, Rodney Barry. Who else is there? Who else is there? Yeah, good night to all of you.
Jah watch over right. Jah build my house, no man can break it down. I say, Jah build my house, nobody can break it down. No way. Jah build my house. On solid rock I standing here I am. Jah build my house. I'm walking with my father hand in hand. Jah build my house. With Jah love in my heart, I know I can go wrong. Jah build my house. His truth and righteousness will make me strong. Jah build my house.
Indeed, and folks, again, I saw a newspaper headline today that was kind of interesting. I know that Grenville is north of the south of the island. That part I know. Grenville is north of the south of the island. But I had no idea that Grenville was totally north, because I thought Telescope in particular, in St. Andrew, I thought that Telescope was in the east of the island. I know northeast is over by Kate, southeast is over by Honorable Emlyn Pear, and that Telescope is in the southeast, over in the southeast constituency. But anyway, when they're Russian is so anyhow, yeah, they just post anything, say anything, don't verify, because of course they're looking for advertising. So
Crucial, if you didn't love me. I say things could have been so very brutal if you didn't love me.
But you know, the important thing is that we understand here, because there continues to be that attempt by this administration to deflect from every single issue that comes up is not their fault. Name one thing between the 23rd of June and today, the 4th day of July 2025, between the 23rd of June 2022 and now, the 4th day of July 2025. Anybody? Call me and name one thing that happened that this government actually take blame for. Something negative that happened in this country that this government or this prime minister have taken blame for and say, hey, I'm the minister, I take the blame, the buck stops with me. Name one thing, one event, one incident, one accident. Everything is always being placed on somebody else, is never them. They want to operate like if they are, back in New York City. For those of you in New York, and good night to the New York listeners, the Texas listeners, the Maryland listeners, the North Carolina listeners, the Floridian listeners, those of you in Washington, D.C., those of you over there in California who vexed with me because I didn't call them out the last time. Good night to you all, Arizona listeners, those of you out there in Canada, in Alberta, in Ontario, wherever you are in Canada, we say a special good night to each and every one of you. Folks, name one thing that this administration ever take blame for. I was listening to an audio a couple hours ago from former MP for St. Andrew Southwest, Michael Batiste. And I was listening to that audio with Michael Batiste, and he was basically making the same point that I was making last night, that this administration tries to shift the blame for everything onto others. So it's never them to blame. They are never the ones who are responsible for anything that happened negative. If something happened positive, something is achieved, they run in front and they snapping and they taking pictures and they all over social media and they taking credit for it. But if something negative happen, it's an NP fault. Because they operate in an infantile manner. They operate in that infantile manner when they should be operating at a level where they take responsibility when certain things happen. And in this instance, as I mentioned last night, the Prime Minister is doubly responsible for the incident that took place in Telescope. Because as Minister of National Security, he has overall responsibility to keep you and me and all visitors to our country safe. He has that responsibility. He also has the responsibility for Grenadians who are not even in Grenada too, no matter where you are. He has a degree of responsibility for you. If something is happening to a Grenadian in another country, he has to do what he has to do to deal with that situation, contact who he has to contact over there and so on. So as Minister of National Security, he has responsibility for the safety of Grenadian citizens and residents within the state of Grenada and Grenada citizens outside of the state of Grenada and visitors to the islands, the state of Grenada. He has responsibility for all of us. So when something of this magnitude happens, and then we understand the danger that you, me, our children, our parents, our brothers, our sisters, our family members, our friends, our co-workers, when we understand the danger we were all placed in because of the level of incompetence of these individuals, it makes one shiver in fear, but it doesn't get frightened easy. Yeah? Now after Hurricane Ivan, nothing can frighten me really. But on a serious level, we have to understand, you'll excuse me, there's no AC here today. So I'm sweating. Yeah, real sweating today. We have to understand that the Prime Minister is not only responsible for national security. The Prime Minister of Grenada, the Honorable Deacon Mitchell, is also the Minister of Works in the island of Grenada. As the Minister of Works, directly under his guidance, directly under his leadership, directly under his powers, is the Gravel and Concrete Emulsion Corporation. So even if he tries to shift the blame totally onto the gravel and concrete, he, as the minister, is supposed to know that such an important event is taking place. Let's just put aside the part as Minister of National Security, which is the more important one. But they're claiming now that the responsibility for what took place there and what could have taken place there, that this responsibility is on the shoulders of the Grenada Gravel and Concrete Emulsion Corporation. And I'm saying that's a load of nonsense. The Prime Minister is the minister directly responsible for that ministry. In other words, Deacon Mitchell was better placed than the manager at Gravel and Concrete. He was better placed than anybody directly in the Royal Grenada Police Force because he had oversight over the two institutions. When the people in Gravel and Concrete could only see what's going on in Gravel and Concrete, and who in security could only see what's going on in security, he, as the minister in charge of both, has a foot and a hand in each camp and could look and see this is happening, this is how it's supposed to happen. And if you don't know, don't guess, because you're playing with people's lives here. Literally thousands of people's lives over a period of time. Because imagine what took place to transport those, and they said it, not us, unstable chemicals from Point Saline all the way up to Telescope. We don't know if it passed through the town of Grenville at any point in time. We don't know. Or if it passed through the Salisbury, we don't know. Then you endanger the people up there. Are people up there, you know? Careful. There were schools. You must pass through more than one. at least 6 or 7 schools, according to the direction that you're passing, are within range of the road and what you were transporting. So what time of day did you transport this item? And if you transport it late at night, is when people are at home and you pass through residential areas. If you pass through during the daytime, you pass through schools and different things. What methodology was used to transport these dangerous items from point A to point B? And in all of these discussions, we must remember that there still remain some down at the SSU barracks that have to move. So they have to get rid of the rest that down at SSU barracks still, you know. So it is still not safe down there for the workers down there, the officers that are working down there. It is not a safe situation for them. Because remember, SSU barracks is SSU barracks, and without going into details, that is just one place you really don't want an explosion going off. I'll just leave it at that. That's one place you don't want that kind of thing happening. Ask our officer if they feel to break confidentiality and tell you to go tell you. But that is one place you don't want that sort of thing happening. So we have to get some people who are willing to take responsibility. My goodness. This group of individuals take responsibility for nothing. So you have people who go out and they contract people to do a job. So they go out, they find people who say they are contractors that could build houses. They give them the money to build the houses. They find people who say they are contractors to do the plumbing on those houses. They give them money to do the plumbing. They find people who say they are electricians and they can do the electrical contracting on the houses, and they give them the money to go and do it. Now we're hearing situations where people disappear and the monies disappear too, and the houses were not built. And instead of taking the blame as men, instead of the Minister of Finance stand up and take the blame and say, according to the Public Finance Management Act SRO number 33 of 2015, section 33B and C, and specific to section B, that monies under construction and for services should not be given to the people until the job is done, and that it is verified that the job is done. In other words, people are supposed to go there from the Ministry of Works, not only when it's done, but they should be going there. And the people within the Ministry of Works, yes, the Prime Minister's ministry, know that they are supposed to be checking weekly on these building projects. You telling me you passed week 1, nothing in bill. Week 2, nothing in bill. Week 3, nothing in bill. Week 4, nothing in bill. But then the money just depleted in the person's bank account. You not seeing anything moving on the thing there. And nothing was done in relation to it, except when you're cornered and you're questioned about it, you admit that, hey, man, I go there and I hear some stories, man just pulling out a little 200 from the money every now and again, and they ain't going back on the people construction site. And then when challenged about it, trying to blame the contractors are not the ones. You have a responsibility. The Minister of Finance was also the former Minister of Works, so he knows what I'm saying is the truth. He has absolutely no excuse. And in the entire cabinet, and I need to say this, in the entire cabinet, the last person I expected to be behaving like a little child is the Minister of Finance. He's way too intelligent for that. I've given Jackie jacket. The man is not a dunce. I'm saying it as I believe it. He's not a dunce. The man is too intelligent to have these other garagoon around him, having him there like he's some kind of chupidi. You're not a chupidi, Mr. Minister of Finance. You were the Minister of Works before the Prime Minister huffed that ministry and give you finance. So you know that if a project, well, at least you ought to know, because you're also the person who may have, next to the MP for St. Andrew Southwest, between the two of you, you are the two individuals that have the most experience at a senior level within the government service. So you know better than most of them. So for you to be coming out and speaking the nonsense that you're speaking, man, it says a lot about you. Because all of us know you're smarter than that. all of us know you know better than that. You spent years in the Ministry of Finance. You worked regionally. You know better. You know that no project is supposed to be done up there unless the people come and they verify that the land belongs to who say they're going and build. You know this. That is not a new thing to you. Not only were you the Minister of Works, for years before that you were in the Ministry of Finance. And if I remember correctly, economic planning. You know better than that. You know that you're supposed to verify that the property belongs to the individual before construction take place. You know that you're supposed to also verify that the work is done before payments are released from the Ministry of Finance. You know that if there's an agreement for payment in tranches, if you give the first tranche, because you're not supposed to give them all in one go, you know that. So if you give them the first tranche, let's say there's 30,000 and you give them the first 10,000. When you give them the first 10,000, you are supposed to send the people from the Ministry of Works to go and verify that the job is being done, that it's being done up to standard and in a reasonable time. Once they have verified that, together with the Ministry of Finance, is when you relieve tranche 2, the second set of money to the people, another 10,000. Then you do the same thing. You know that is to take them up to a certain point. You go, you verify that it has gotten to that point, and then you release the final set of money when everything is done. You know that is how the thing takes place. But now we're hearing you're going and audit people because you're not sure what they do with the money. How the hell you could not know what they do with the money, excuse me French? How you could not know? You are supposed to know. You, Mr. Minister of Finance, know better than that. Don't let these people use you as cannon fodder. Because as far as I'm concerned, that's what's taking place right now. They're using you as cannon fodder. They're using you as the scapegoat, the man to go and take all the blows in relation to these things, because they see you as disposable. They know you can't win your seat. They see you as disposable, so they're utilizing you effectively. And you're a big hardback man. You can't let them do you that. So you don't have you don't have a career to protect, a record to protect. Come on, man. Seriously. I would expect that from tours, but from you? Nah, man. And to come and talk this kind of nonsense to us. Everything with this government is somebody else's fault. So the houses built bad. The Minister of Housing, I don't have to play everything tonight, I've been playing it all week. The Minister of Housing came out. She said, hey, the houses are being built bad, the houses are a disaster in themselves. Yeah? Diana Antoine, good night to you. Yeah. So the Minister of Housing come out. The Minister of Housing said the houses are a disaster in themselves. In other words, the houses were badly constructed. Because the people, because she went on to explain that training needs to take place, the people who they hired as contractors were not really contractors, did not know what to do, and was all about a money thing. She didn't say that part, but we could get that part from what she's saying and from what was put on by the Minister of Finance afterwards. So we just repeat what they say, we play it out there. All of a sudden now, it ends up a situation, oh, people are out there making up stories online. Nobody is making up stories online. All you're making all yourself look stupid. And the bad part about it, if it was only for us here in Grenada, was one thing. But the world is watching and they're wondering what kind of nincompoop we have there. They're wondering, but what kind of government is that? Nothing are you taking blame for? Nothing. Tourism increased between 2022, 2023, 2024. They jump up, hey, yeah, that is due to the hard work. No, it's not due to no hard work. Tourism must increase because in 2020, you had no tourism. By March of 2020, we know what was happening. Cruise ships stopped run, planes stopped fly. The only way we were seeing cruise ship in Grenada that was coming and stay far out in the water and sending a small boat was to send back the Grenadians who were working on the boat. So Royal Princess, all of them, they get the people together And they tried to get them onto different boats, and they were passing island by island and dropping off all the people, sending them back to their original countries. And that is how a lot of Grenadians came back home off of the cruise ships. That's the only time we were seeing cruise ships then. So if you're measuring how much tourism increased between then and now, obviously you have an increase. 10 from 0 is an increase, you know. It's an increase. 1 from 0 is an increase. So you had nothing in 2020, nearly nothing in 2021. 2022, you start to get people traveling and coming out again. People get more confident. 2023, economies start to build back. 2024, you beating your chest. Oh, we do an excellent job. It has nothing to do with you. But you're taking blame for that. You're taking credit for that. Yes, we. Yes, we're doing good work in tourism. Why you didn't take credit for the decrease in agriculture? No. Blame everything else. Blame the weather pattern, blame water shortage, blame all them things. And while they're blaming water shortage, while they're blaming weather patterns, they're not blaming themselves for what has happened to what used to be the Grenada Marketing and National Importing Board. Yeah, they have 1 or 2 stores open, but they are not operating at the level that the Grenada Marketing and National Importing Board was operating at before. Now you have various people that are bringing in the things like the rice and other commodities, sugar and so on, that were commodities that the marketing board used to bring in and were able to keep it at a certain price for the average Grenadians. When you check the consumer price index, now you're seeing constant rises in these things that were controlled because they were brought in through the Grenada Marketing and National Importing Board. That does not exist again. Remember, that was folded. They might have built 1 or 2 buildings with some people inside it and receive a little bit of fruits and vegetables still. But you and I know, and everybody who's involved know, it is nowhere even close to what was being done before. And when it comes to the importing, we see what is happening there. The consumer price index points to it, because they have not put some entity in place to regulate and deal with these issues in the way that the Grenada Marketing and National Importing Board was able to do it. Why didn't take blame for that? Last year, June, we were told that last year, June, we were supposed to have the new Marketing and National Importing Board. Yeah, we were told that, that last year, June, we were supposed to have the new Marketing and National Importing Board. Up to now, we're in July of the following year. And they come and they tell us some nonsense again, we go see just now. We're still waiting. No Marketing and National Importing Board. Why didn't take blame for that? The new National Party got the funding for the airport rehabilitation. They conceptualized it. They worked along with the Chinese government to secure funding and to get everything put in place for the air bridges and the work on the tarmac and everything, to get all that work done. The new National Party administration did it. When the new National Party was doing that, the same people who running their mouth in NDC right now, and some of them running their mouth like they're in the Olympics in the finals, they are the same ones who say that we're selling out Grenada to the Chinese. You all remember? In 2020, 2021, when this was announced, these were the same people that were saying, oh, NNP selling out Grenada to the Chinese, and there's no way we'd be able to repay that loan, and all sorts of nonsense they were saying. It's the same people that coming now and saying, look at the excellent job my government has done. Wow, you don't see the work that they do on the airport? You ain't see NDC doing thing, and they're doing an excellent job, and they do, come on. They ain't taking blame for what they said before, but they're taking credit for what the NNP put in place, and all they had to do is sit back and watch it happen. They had nothing to do with the fort restoration. Nothing to do with it. The French had to send an individual here during COVID. But we know what happened with COVID and all of that, and transport and traveling and so. That was one of the main people to do the architectural and all of that for that project. So a project that should have begun back in 2020 got pushed back because of COVID and the measures that were being put in place. So that project did not get to start up until 2022. You see the project nearing completion now? They're beating the chest. Oh, you don't see how we fix the fort and we do the... You ain't fixed no fort. You had nothing to do with that. You simply sat in the chair and the people that had to do the work that the NNP got did the work. It was a project that was conceived and the funding was sourced, everything under the NNP. You had nothing to do with it. You just happened to be in the chair when it's completed. So they're taking credit day. They're taking blame day. But if anything had gone wrong with it, would that be the NNP to do that? The Millennium Project, they interfere with the project. End up with the project delayed by nearly a year because they interfered with the project. Ended up with additional costs on the project because they interfered with it. Then come back and blame NNP for the original plan, which was usable, which was workable, which they went and interfered with, and then they had to recreate a plan. They tried even to get rid of the people who were working on the project. Then they realized, no, that's the people we had to work with, that to go back and get the same people that I was trying to get rid of on the project. And then instead of taking the blame for making the project have to take as long as it took, these same people come back, NNP. The negative part, blame the NNP. The positive part, they want to take all the credit for that. Look, we come and we build road in Dr. Mitchell constituency. All you're still getting bingo numbers next election. Let me warn all you from now. No matter who all you send in St. George Northwest will be losing their deposit. And in fact, this election, I challenge the people of St. George Northwest to put the worst licking on whoever they send. Make this a licking for the ages. Every single one of you have to come out and vote. Yeah? I know we ain't going to get 100%, but we'll get very close to it. We might get 99. Because these are the people that, when something positive, take credit. Something negative, they didn't want to take the blame. So whether it's the airport or the fort or the cliff project, and we're hearing about the hanky-panky Andy with the cliff project, we're hearing about that. But these are also the people that went and interfere with that project and come and say, oh, this wasn't done and that wasn't done and all kind of thing, and then the project end up costing more and more and more, and right now, inconvenience. Project can't finish up to now. A project that had the new National Party been in office, we'd have done cut ribbon on that and vehicle passing day like water already. We'd have done, I'm telling you, had the new National Party been in office, that project could have been completed. And well completed too, well done. But you have an incompetent group of people who are now in charge of the state of Grenada. So that is why you're ending up in these sorts of situations. Yeah? I was on the board of directors of the Grenada National Stadium Authority. I was on the board of directors between, if I remember correctly, 2019 or 2018 or 2019 and 2022. Right? During the last year, that would be between 2021 to 2022, there were discussions about the state of the Grenada Cricket Stadium. You're passing the road, you could see the rust, all them kind of thing with the sea blast and all of that. Nice. Then there was some weather that passed by, damaged some of the roofing. You had problems with some of the seats, different things like that. Right. The new National Party administration organized with the Chinese government to ensure, and that wasn't even the last year, that was since during COVID time. The new National Party administration organized to have the Chinese come in, because the Chinese government said they were willing to come in and do the repair work on the Grenada National Cricket Stadium and at the same time do a little bit of work on the athletic stadium at the same time. COVID hit. The team of people were already prepared, front-loaded in China to come to Grenada. They could not come. I think 1 or 2 ended up coming in just before borders closed and so on, and that was it. The rest could not come until borders reopened again and everybody could come down. And that was way back in 2022. And they still dilly-dally. You had the worst, in fact, I always used to say Patrick Simmons was the worst minister of sports ever in the history of Grenada. Youth and sport, the worst minister ever. But I think he gets stiff competition from Ron Redhead as the worst ever minister of youth and sport in the history of Grenada. Because that project could not have been started. We ask anybody who was on that board of directors of the Grenada National Stadium Authority, go and find Miss Harris, who used to be the manager of the stadium, until they come in and run her. Ask her. This wasn't a project that was conceived by the NDC to come in and watch the stadium and say, whoa, we need to fix the stadium, you know. The Chinese were already on their way to Grenada to come and deal with that project. Now you had the project complete. They come and they dancing around. Hey, we fixed the stadium. Yes, we doing thing. All you ain't do nothing. All you ain't do nothing. I could tell all you because I could still probably check my email and find the documents. In relation to housing for the Chinese, in relation to the pre-arrangements before the Chinese arrived in Grenada, and what was the scope of work that they had to do with the Grenada National Stadium to do the repairs. I know it because I was on the board of directors when it took place. So it's not something that you all do, but you see, they're so desperate that they have to try to take credit for everything. So without even mentioning the new National Party, they run and try to give the impression to the fickle supporters out there who don't read, don't listen, don't follow anything, are being told by their mouthpieces, hey, only listen to them. Only listen to them. The last set of people who were told only listen to them were the people that followed Jim Jones down in Guyana, and we know what happened to them. That was the last set of people that were told, don't listen to the news, don't listen to anything else. Just listen to us. And they followed Jim Jones all the way down to Jonestown in Guyana. And he blocked them out from everybody else. No, everything everybody else says lie. We alone speak the truth. And whatever we tell you do, that's what you have to do. And we're so great. 900 and something of them take their life down in Jonestown. And it's the same type of mentality that's being pushed by the leadership of the NDC and the mouthpieces and the media leeches of the National Democratic Congress out there. That attitude of listen to us only. And then as soon as you speak out, as soon as you say something, they open on you. They have the nastiest set of thing to say. They're under your post and they have to tell you what you do in primary school back in 1980 something. They have to tell you about a fight you was in secondary school back in 2001. They have to tell you all kind of things. They have to tell you about your children. They have to tell you about your significant other. They have all kind of nasty things to say about you. You know why? They cannot deal with the issue that you have raised, so they have to attack you as an individual and try and shift attention and focus now off of the issues that have been raised onto the individual that raised the issue. And by the time that confusion finished, because we West Indians, we like a good cuss out. We in we house and we hear two neighbors cussing, we peeping out to see what's going on. We go run out and part it if it's a fight, that's that. But everybody, I hear something, they load the radio. They load the radio, they load the TV, all kind of thing. We West Indians, we like a little confusion. That is just in we nature. We have to admit that, isn't it? We like a little cuss out, a little thing, right? But in that now, we shift off from the main issue. So when you have an issue as healthcare, and you have the Minister of Health saying that Grenada is basically worse off now than they were before, that there has been no improvement in the healthcare system between 2022 and now, and not only making the statement once, but reinforcing the statements afterwards, that there has been no improvement in the healthcare system. And while the minister is saying it, some people who are even disturbed, much less the men, coming out and trying to defend and say, not that he say. What do you mean, not that he say? What do you mean not I say? They need to go by ENT specialist and get a wax treatment for the ears. Because you hearing the man say it. We hearing the man say it. And them coming to tell us that we ain't here. It's not that the man say. Because these people have nothing to show. So they're rushing now because they're trying to do Project Polaris. You say to the Prime Minister on an open forum, you say, Mr. Prime Minister, according to US law, in relation to the embargo on Cuba, there are sections there where US companies cannot work with any individual or entity of the Cuban government. There are various sections of the embargo laws that deal with that. They asked the Prime Minister of this country, who just announced that, hey, we're giving these people how much $1 million a year, how much $1 million over X amount of years to do work in the Grenadian healthcare system. These individuals asked the Prime Minister, they said, Mr. Prime Minister, can these people really work along in the Grenada healthcare system? Because, I mean, we top heavy with a lot of Cubans, whether you're talking about technical people working in different areas or you're talking about actual doctors and so on. You have a lot of Cubans who are the specialists and so on. I saw the list of doctors in the state of Grenada recently, and in a lot of instances, those were Cubans. A lot of Cubans. So the question was asked of the Prime Minister's response. Again, he takes responsibility off of himself, and he places responsibility now onto Mount Sinai. Well, that's a question for Mount. That's not a question for Mount Sinai. You take we money and give them. But you telling us you don't know if they could do the job that you take we money and give them for. So it's just this lack of taking responsibility and getting their story straight. Everything is trying to shift the blame onto the New National Party or shift the blame onto a lesser entity that can't really defend itself. So you shift the blame onto the Gravel and Concrete Emulsion Corporation. Nobody inside they can defend themselves. Because tomorrow morning the Prime Minister could get up and say, hey, I fire them today, and everybody, every man jack home what bong. Pay them what you have to pay them and send them home. And it's home they had to go. From captain to cook. You could wake up tomorrow morning and decide them how to go. So the people who could really talk out there in the senior thing, they know that they're hanging on by a thread. They can't say nothing. And you have the same thing going on in the Ministry of National Security, particularly the Royal Grenada Police Force. The commissioner know. If he go and he make any statement out of the way there, that is it for he, somebody else getting the commissioner job. You might even find somebody flying in and becoming commissioner of Grenada. They know that. So all of them have to be careful with what they're saying. Except when they're sending voice notes, especially when they're sending voice notes, in fact, and thing. Or taking pictures, hug up inside the building. You should be very careful with those things. Anyhow, back to the topic. Yeah, it is a case where these people, folks, take blame for nothing. Again, and remember the phone lines are open, 1473-440-7377. Tell me one thing that this government actually take, that negative that happened that this government take blame for. So you have corruption in the burial housing program. Again, let me say it because they don't like to hear that word. They have corruption taking place in the burial relief support program. Up to yesterday, you have the MP for Carriacou admitting on live radio and the internet that people who should have gotten help in Carriacou did not get it, and people who should not have got it, got it. He had to admit that on national radio. Well, that wasn't national radio, that is Carriacou radio. Yeah? But admitted that people who should have gotten help did not get, and people who should not have gotten got. So people get material in Carriacou and thing and they sell because they didn't need it. So you could tell, therefore, that the people who give them the material did not assess them properly. is a friend or family thing. So no proper assessment was done, because if they had assessed proper, they would know that this person really don't need the material. It is better to give another person who needs it more. So these people get the material, sell it, go ahead about their business and thing, living nice, and you have people who living in tent tonight, hoping that rain don't fall and breeze don't blow, living in tent tonight. And I even want to think about the toilet and bathroom situation for these people. But that is what they are going through in Carriacou and in Petit Martinique tonight. And the MP says that without saying, and I apologize to the people who really should have gotten and did not get. My heart goes out to you, and I'll ensure that I check on each and every one of you in the shortest period of time possible. No. Cause NNP, they say program close and program don't close. Mr. Man, is not NNP say program close, it's your own cabinet colleagues that say the program close. Oh, when Sister Gloria was talking, she was talking about bringing up the elderly from Grenada and the programs under her ministry and not the barrels. That is not what she talked about. We have her on tape. Again, I don't have to go playing all the tape and thing tonight again. I don't think it is necessary for us to have to go and play the tapes tonight. But we have it. So if they tell us no, we could play it. And they could hack as much as they want. They can't get rid of all the copies. Because not all copies are online. And not all copies are in the state. So they can try as much as they want. But this is the state of our country at this point in time. We have a group of individuals that take blame for nothing. Mr. Michael Batiste was pointing out the situation where the Prime Minister is the Minister of National Security. You have a problem with a facility under the Ministry of National Security. I.e., for example, in this instance, that being, and we'll take this call. Hello, good night, caller. Hello.
Good night, Sheldon.
Hi, good night. How are you doing?
I was going to raise the other part of Michael Batiste, what he had to say.
No, go ahead.
With the situation, with the police station in the south.
No, go ahead.
The police station in the south with the cells that needed attention, and he knew about it.
Yeah.
There are three prisoners escaped from there and killed 2 tourists. You see? So they never take blame. For the last 45 minutes, I was trying to say where they took blame. I can't figure out none.
Where they didn't take blame?
I don't see any of them take. None of them don't take blame. None of them don't take blame for anything. Everything is someone else's fault.
Yeah.
You are perfect. You are perfectly correct. You are perfectly correct.
Not a single instance, have they been able to come to people and say, we are sorry. We made a mistake. None, My brother, don't run off of me. Before you go, remember Sister Gloria Thomas came into the parliament and said to all the seed beneficiaries that the payments at the level it was being paid under the new National Party would be continued into 2023. That was in November, December of 2022. Come January 2023, they cut the payment from all of them. Some of them never get back up to now. They cut the payment from all of them. And then they still come to blame the NNP, Sister Gloria go in the parliament and say the payment will continue, Them come and say the NNP that stopped the payment, and NNP out of office months by that time, Hey.
Well, that's what they're always doing. They're always doing that. The CBI program, the same thing. Now they empower the CBI program, but right now the CBI program under regional scrutiny. So all that they're doing, they're going to get scrutinized with the CBI program. So they're checking auditing the CBI program because they realize that there's a lot of corruption going on in Grenada with the CBI program, where some of the other islands not getting the benefits of that because they're investing the people a lot more than Grenada doing. Investing the people, So it is what it is, boy. And the Prime Minister, he can't be blamed for everything that go on in construction. But look at the accident in the Molyneux situation. Another accident there in the Cliff program. where the truck run off the road.
Mm-hmm.
You understand? So you have to be checking on these things. In construction, is a risky business. Construction, you got to have your head on. And you're saying that the people not really following the protocols and this and that. But what is the program with the Molyneux Road? I hear some kind of slippage taking place there again.
I haven't heard that, but I know that they said they constructed it in a kind of way so that if it slip, it gon' pass under. But you see, that is one issue. If it slip, it pass under is one issue. If you look on top, you will realize people house going to go. There are people who have house on top there that are now being endangered by how they have approached the job. They have endangered some people's house at the top, you know.
Okay.
Oh boy.
It's something else.
One. And
But
I challenge
no.
anybody to call me and tell me something that they have honestly took blame for. That negative that has happened.
They don't take blame for anything. Nothing at all. And promises upon promises. What about the nets? The nets land yet for the sargassum? The nets coming the island yet?
Man,
all the big nets that were supposed to take place.
Not even mosquito net, much less sargassum net.
But you know the situation that you talk about last night with the transportation and that, you know, it come to my mind, really and truly you can transport that from such a vast distance. And apparently, I don't know, they're saying that the people are accustomed setting it on fire or something, so I don't know how they dispose of it. So I was thinking maybe they had some that was active within the bunch or whatever, and that made the whole kaboom. So I don't know. I'm not expert.
You know something, bitch?
In explosive, but
how good do you know? How good do you know the south of the island? Because you know there's a quarry in the south of the island that, in my view, may have been a reasonable area to bring it down to that side and dispose of it. If they had to dispose of it, instead of taking it all the way up the east coast of the island to Telescope. Telescope is one of the most populated villages in the country. They take it from Telescope to down there.
But you can't compare Telescope with Lansapine. They ain't gonna put it close to the bourgeoisie. You understand? It ain't gonna go close to the bourgeoisie. So send it out in Telescope in poverty area. And what happened out there, because these people ain't got no reform. But if you go out and do that, and the same thing happen in Telescope and blow people glass windows in Lansapine, it'll be a bigger scene. So that is what it is all about. It's all about semantics and doing as they feel like. You understand? And that's what's going on. It is for the.
Yes,
they don't care about poor people. Because you're talking about marketing board. They don't care about poor people where the people that have agriculture process to deal with, to send vegetables there, to be able to have a good market, that is not there anymore. You know? So they're not about the poor people. They're about filling their pockets, as everyone knows. By the time running out, children, time is counting down.
Yes, indeed.
Every
day is one less day that day in office, you know, and I hope people realize that.
It's true.
As of this week, they had 1 month less.
Yep.
And as of today, they have 1 day less. And at the end of tomorrow is 1 day less. Every day is a day closer to when they go.
You got that right. What you were saying yesterday about the Jamaican election soon calling?
Yeah,
or they got to call.
Jamaican elections must be called within the next, I think it's 2 to 3 weeks or so. They must. Constitutionally, they have to. I don't think they have a choice.
Right.
I think Prime Minister Holness, for whatever reason, is going down to the wire with it seems. But if I remember my figures correctly, he has to call it sometime this month. I don't think he can go into August.
Can't go into August. Okay.
Yeah, he has to call it. Whether he gives a long campaign or a short campaign is up to him. But he has, I think, up until probably the middle or end of this month, one or the other, to call it.
Oh. All righty, my brother. Well, have a good night and enjoy your weekend.
All right, thank you very much, Midge.
You're not taking in under the carnival activity. I say they had a carnival activity there on the carnage and stuff.
Nice for them.
A little calypso thing going on.
I have only been to two carnival activities between. Let me see, 1, 2, 3. Right, between 2019 and now, I have only been to 3.
Well, welcome to my world.
All right.
All
right,
right.
brother. You have a good one.
Good.
All right.
Yeah,
That's
but
beautiful.
all right, Sheldon. Good
All right.
man.
Yes, indeed, folks. Yeah, I kind of ease up on the gun. I used to be in everything, you know. Yeah, I used to be in everything. Moko Pin! Well, good partner, Moko Pin, man. Don't get top of that. Moko Pin! That Springs people kind of thing. Yeah, folks. No, I mean, come on. There's that facility down there. Even if the facility is not government owned, they could have spoken to the individuals, said the urgency, and I'm sure whoever is in charge down there would give them the opportunity to dispose of the items down there, because they can't go any way further down with it because there's airport. Yeah, and they have to be careful in transporting it, and when transport it, and how they transport it, and all of that. So I would think that there's a possibility, that's way, if you want to go with it, that's way, anyhow. But maybe I don't know what I'm talking about, isn't it? Yeah, maybe I don't know what you're talking about. 14734407377. That is the number for you to call and get on the inside. I'm seeing a message here from Shirma asking, where's the Attorney General? Last I heard of the Attorney General, she was somewhere in Switzerland with some large delegation. I think I'm hearing names like Orlando. I hear names like that and all. I hear some kind of large delegation I hear leave Grenada and gone over there. I don't know if it's we paying for it, who paying for it, but I hear a large delegation with the Attorney General has gone, and they're supposed to be somewhere over in Switzerland from what I hear. And I hear it's a big delegation. Yeah, that is what I hear. So I buy, so I sell. Right. And I hear it's a we have a caller. Caller, just lower the volume in the background first, caller. And I hear it's a we have a caller. Lower the volume in the background first, caller. Yeah, just lower the volume in the background. Hello. Hello, caller, just kill the volume in the background. Kill the volume in the back for us. Hello? Hello, caller. Kill the volume in the background. Kill the volume in the back for us. Right, they're hearing that now. Let me see if they lower it down. Kill the volume in the background. Kill the volume in the back for us. Hello? Hello? Okay, all right. Caller, you got to call back. Yes, indeed. Yeah, because I know you're hearing it in the background. The way you have to do, remember, when you're calling, speak to us on the phone line, not on the computer or radio or television that you're listening to us on. So you have to kill the volume, take off the volume on what is in the background and just speak to us on the phone. Yeah, this is recorded, so you could always go back and you will hear your entire, you hear the whole talk between me and you and that sort of thing. Yeah, you could hear the whole talk about it. Let me see, Sheldon, next door neighbor, her brother died 4 years ago. She told me she got her son to get material for her house, and she gets material on her name to build back her brother's house, to rent the house. It's almost finished to rent. It's true, I see the house every day, and the people can't get, those in need can't get. So people getting material to build back a man who died house on their name, to build back another house, not the house they're in, you know. You understand what this person is saying? Their neighbor's brother has died, leave a house behind. The house was damaged during burial. That individual is getting material to build back the dead brother's house on their name, while their house is okay. And then they're going to rent out the brother's house. Meanwhile, other people can't get material. You hear the kind of thing that's taking place. That's the kind of thing that's taking place. So the brother died. He leave the house. So the sister take the house. Burial come and it damage the house. The sister house is okay. The sister getting materials now on her name to build back the brother house while her house is okay, so that she could rent the brother house to get her income. And that is okay. Yeah, that is okay while people in Carriacou suffering. While people in Petit Martinique sleeping in tent tonight and hoping the breeze don't blow too hard. Yeah, that is okay for them. Yeah, that is okay for them. 1473-440-73. All you know that just upset me. 1473-440-7377. Because I'm speaking to people in Carriacou on a daily basis and know what some people going through in Carriacou. and in Petit Martinique, it rough, and they're going up and trying to give the impression, and who passing with loudspeaker about, hey, look, the Leicester school and the roof, they go on that, and the new NDC government put it back in no time flat. When the school is where everybody went during the hurricane, no roof ain't go there. My goodness. 147344073. So yeah, well, listen, it has some large delegations going all over. I think the Minister of Foreign Affairs has gone to the heads of government meeting in Jamaica. Maybe the Prime Minister of Jamaica wanted to stage the heads of government meeting before he called the elections. Maybe that is what take place. But he's gone there. I realize Grenada Prime Minister ain't too friendly with the Jamaican Prime Minister. I realize he does never see a picture of Deacon Mitchell and Andrew Holness together. You all ever recognize that? I don't ever see a picture with two of them smiling and talking and interacting and that kind of thing. I'm the Prime Minister of Jamaica and Deacon Mitchell. I don't find out I ever see that. Once I think I ever see one with he and Mia Motley, much less. And don't talk about Keith Rowley. Before he demitted office as Prime Minister, I never used to see Prime Minister Keith Rowley and Deacon Mitchell, like, you know, he chummy with the Kittishan Prime Minister and the Lucian Prime Minister. And so, well, I realized even the Vincentian Prime Minister ain't too chummy with him. And the Prime Minister of St. Vincent has always been supportive of the NDC opposition party in Grenada. We know that. I mean, come on, it's open thing. Sister party kind of thing. But I've never noticed him chummy with the Prime Minister. I wonder what happened. 14734407377, going back to the comments here. Folks, no, seriously, tell me, what have these individuals ever really... Listen, a MP driving a car, bongs down a child at the side of the road, and still come back. I think it's a doggy blame or some kind of thing, you know. It's still not here, you know. He still come back and blame the child and blame a dog or some kind of thing, or some girl, and them they stand up at the side of the road. All kind of thing get blamed except himself. Yeah? It's always blame somebody else and never take the blame for yourself. A woman lend the MP she vehicle for St. George Northeast. Did I say St. George Northwest again? St. George Northeast, eh? Let me make clear talking about Run Red Head, not St. George Northwest. The MP for St. George Northeast. The man driving a vehicle. Yeah? And bonks. I saw the other one. The woman lent him she vehicle for the campaign. Campaign done. The man, instead of returning the vehicle to the woman, because he say he do some repair and he fix some stuff on the vehicle, take the woman vehicle and sell the vehicle. The woman get to find out the vehicle sell only when the person, when they got to go and change the name and they realize it's not his name on it, it's she name. And it's still not his fault. It's supposed to be she fault. Or somebody else's fault, but it's not his fault. Everything happened with these individuals is never... Jonathan Lacrette was a government minister, not a parliamentary secretary, not just a senator in the Senate, government minister. Walks into the cabinet of Grenada, is told immediately with NDC executive online in the cabinet by Zoom, is told, hey, Papa, we withdraw your appointment since 8 o'clock this morning. The Governor General has withdrawn your appointment as a minister and to the Senate, and so he takes leave after whatever exchange. He takes leave of the cabinet chamber. 2 security officers, a policeman and an ex-policeman, or I don't know if he was an ex-policeman or whatever, was outside waiting for him. Outside the cabinet room, where they can't hear the discussion taking in place. But they were outside, sit down, waiting on him. He comes out. They follow him down to the office, basically walk behind him, guard him to the office. He was instructed to only take what he owned in the office. The only thing he get to do is take information off of the mobile device before he hand it in. Leave the compound in the company of one of these people who was recently pictured lovey-dovey. Mr. Lover. Mr. Lover. Anyhow, he leaves the compound and was escorted out by this individual into his car to make sure he leaves the compound. The Prime Minister is asked, do you know about that? The Prime Minister says, he don't know nothing about that. Well, who know? The Governor General can't tell these two people to go and do that. You know you went to the Governor General. You know you went and ordered this thing to get him removed from the Senate and so on. So who could tell these two officers to be sitting outside of the cabinet waiting for when he come out to do what was done to him? It wasn't me. So who it was? Who was the Minister of National Security at the point in time? And who outside of the Governor General and yourself knew and had the power to tell those police officers to be out there to do that? None of your fellow cabinet colleagues had the power to order any police officer to be outside there to basically frog march the man, although they didn't do that, so let me don't go that direction, out of the complex. Because like if they get a chance, they'd do that. They'd grab him by the waist and hold the belt and drag him out. If they get a chance to do that. And then you don't take blame. It's not me. I don't know how that happened. I don't know who do that. Nothing is them men's fault. Everything is somebody else's own. We have a caller online. Go right ahead, caller.
Hey, Brother Sheldon. Good evening, sir. How you do?
I'm quite fine.
Right. Listen, I have something for you, but you see, transposition is the problem, you know.
Yes,
yeah?
I understand. Yeah.
Yeah, but I'm gonna get it to you anyhow. Yeah, Brother Sheldon, something I've been thinking about as you were talking, you know, with regards to the detonating of that explosive.
Mm-hmm. And Pastor, before you go further, let people know you are ex-military man, so you know what you're talking about.
well, you have my word. That's true.
Mm-hmm.
So I was thinking, right, while you were talking there with Bidge, that why couldn't they have? I mean, we're living in a technological era. Why couldn't they get an unmanned? Our Minister of National Security, he has a lot of contacts, right? Mm-hmm. And he could have. You see, because he does not understand, I think, that everything rises and falls on the leader, right? So that he has to take responsibility for that. Mm-hmm. But my advice with the rest that they have, get an unmanned device, like something like a boat or something, that they could send out a warning, right? And send that thing out at sea. Make sure there's nobody in that area. So in other words, we are doing a high emergency warning, right? And detonate the thing outside, because I know there are others down there, as I understand, at the special security unit, mm-hmm. right? So that is what, right? So let's leave that now. It is strange, brother, that our leadership of our country, they are not recognizing the new national party, number one, as the one that last was in office, mm-hmm. and the projects and different things that they have done, respectively. So the persons that have been working for our country. Mm-hmm. They are persons of real experience, good character, just name it, right? Now, all the blackmailing, all the things that they have been saying about those leaders has been proven that it was not true, right? Now, the things that are coming out now with the current administration leaders, I could safely say alleged, and some of them are practically true. Right? You hear the voices of these, I always mention that. You hear the voices on the clips. And these guys, these honorable persons, excuse me, still denying, yeah, the truth with regards to the circumstances. Right? Now, the other question is what is currently happening with the photo that went viral? Right? Went viral at the last 2 weeks gone there with the high-ranking officer. What is the result? What is happening with that? Is there going to be a investigation from the Public Service Commission? Is there any word out as to how would they treat that? My question. And the many other disciplinary activities that should be taken on the same alleged or same accused. There's so many circumstances surrounding him. You know? What are they going to do? Right? Question. Is it right for a person like the advisor to the Minister of National Security take up a walk with a nutmeg board? Is it right? Is it proper? Can they do that? I don't know, I'm asking.
Well,
I don't know. Is it proper? So and then finally, Brother Sheldon, now we decide we're not sweeping anything under the rug. What about the questions that have been asked about the 50th anniversary financial support or financial budget? What is it? What response do we have? I think the opposition, His Majesty opposition, need to press that more. We're asking the question, but we need to put it on record that we need the answer for all of these questions that have been asked in the Parliament, the highest place in our country, in the land. All right? So, okay, have a good night.
Yes,
I'm
indeed.
waiting for your comment.
Yes, indeed. I got a little sidetracked there, Pastor, so please excuse me. I got a little sidetracked there. I was getting some information on something. All right, thank you so very much. Yes, indeed.
So go right ahead. Yes, all right.
Yes, indeed, folks. 147344. I'm sorry, Pastor. I just got sidetracked for a minute there. 1473440777. That is the number for you to call and get on the inside. Yeah, I was trying to find out what is taking place there. And again, I'm still getting stories of what is happening at the General Hospital. You're hearing of stories about the X-ray and people unable to get an X-ray done when they go up there. And so, I don't know, is the X-ray machine working? Is it working? Is it in operation? Is it only being used in certain emergency circumstances? What is the situation? Is it that the machine is faulty or that you all do not have the supplies to operate the machine? What is this present situation with the X-ray machine at the General Hospital? Because I'm hearing of some people that have to go private and get it done and all sorts of nonsense I'm hearing. We're also hearing of people that are going to do surgery. And I'm hearing of one situation there. It brings tears to your eyes if I go over that one. And I won't, because I don't want the individual to be targeted, because it could end up costing them their life. But there's a situation of an individual who has a very, very, very painful condition. And that individual is supposed to do surgery and was told that they cannot do surgery right now. Yeah? And the only thing I will say is that that person at that age, the surgery should be done. But they're saying now that the autoclave not working, so they can't sanitize, they can't do what they have to do to prepare properly. to do these surgeries, and they're seeing that surgery as an elective surgery, and they would pretty much gauge one of the people I'm speaking about here. They're saying this is an elective surgery, but they know very well that that particular person, that if that surgery is not done within a certain space of time, you're playing with the person's life. Yeah? You're playing with the person's life. So please, can we have an update in relation to what is taking place with surgeries at the general hospital? Yeah, emergency surgeries, somebody come in as an emergency, from what we hear, those can take place. But other surgeries where somebody may have something, for instance, if somebody has, let's say, a hernia, and they're saying, no, you could wait to that and that sort of thing, and we know that, anyhow, 1473-440-7377. That is the number to call and get on to the inside. Folks, tell me, what these people haven't take blame for that negative that happened. Yeah? Because I'll tell you something. Last year, on 2 occasions, within roughly a week of each other, we had a situation in River Road. Heavy rains came down up in the hillside. It wasn't as much rain in town itself, but from the hillsides, the mountains, significant amount of water came down, breached the road in River Road just before Steele's Auto, and came down the river. Road has that name because of a particular reason, and we saw the reason that point in time. The river ended up in the road. It took vehicles, people lost their vehicles, it entered people's houses and business places and so on, caused significant amounts of damage in the River Road area. Instead of taking blame for not completing the River Road project, so that instead of that water finding that point just by Steele's Bridge, where all the bamboo does come down, stick up by Steele's Bridge, the water does come and lash against it and then go into the road and run down River Road. And that is what happened during those 2 occasions, one in the day, one in the night. That is what happened on both occasions. Instead of taking blame for not completing the project so that you would not have that happening, what did the Prime Minister, who happens to be the Minister of Works, and all these things tend to be happening under him, who happens to be the Minister of Works, what did he do? Blame the NNP. Oh, the thing was constructed wrong, and even if you had the wall there, that wouldn't stop it. Nonsense. Nonsense. The same Prime Minister, since then, told us that, well, even before that, told us that they had 2 bridges, because he knows that that bridge by Steele's Auto had to replace, and the Humpback Bridge. Those 2 bridges are the 2 block points, choke points, where the debris comes down, all the bamboo that fall into the river, all the bamboo that's thrown into the river and other things come down, and they either stop by Steele's or they stop down at the Humpback, and then they flood the road. He knows this. He said that the bridges are in Grenada. Up to now, not a man, not a woman, not a dog, cat or cockroach could tell us that is the bridge and them, that the bridge the Prime Minister talking about. You see it over there? Nobody could tell us that is the bridges and them. We cannot see them installed. We heard from his ministry, the Prime Minister's ministry, the Ministry of Works. So in other words, not the Prime Minister's ministry as the Prime Minister's office, the Prime Minister's ministry as one of his ministries, the Ministry of Works. We heard from them that, hey, during the dry season, next year we will do it. That's early this year. Up to now it has not been done. They're waiting for the rain to come down and River Road to flood again, and for somebody to get damaged to come and blame NNP. But we're waiting for them. We have a caller. Hello? Yeah, caller, yeah, that wasn't me, that was you. Yes, caller, go right ahead, you're live. Caller?
Hey, Sheldon.
Hey, you're live, man, go right ahead.
Yeah, what one?
Hey, I'm good, man.
Well, I heard the Prime Minister said that the bridge was on the port, it was just a matter of time for it to lay down.
Man, but I mean, we hear the Prime Minister with that.
Well, I heard that, I heard that, and I heard that when you were playing the interview. You see the bridge is on the port, it's just a matter of time. So what kind of
And he said that, my
Sorry, you
friend,
go ahead.
on the 26th day of March last year.
Yes, I heard it, I heard it on your program when he said so. These guys taking Grenadians for a ride, they're taking us for a ride, a big ride they're taking us for.
We in the rainy season, brother, and every time we have heavy rains, I praying for people in River Road because I know. Remember, you have children over in Queen's Park area there, in the secondary school and the primary school and so. You have children over there, plus the businesses in River Road and the people who utilize River Road, plus the St. Andrew people that go over the hills that pass through the River Road area. You know what it would be for bus loads of people to be coming up and the river cross over and start coming down?
Well, as far as I'm concerned, they just don't care. It's a don't care government that they have in Grenada. A don't care government. That's all they have.
But they take blame for nothing. The River Road project should have been completed by now. There's no excuse why it is not completed by now, except that the government is incompetent. And the minister in charge, which is the Prime Minister, is incompetent.
Well, only God knows. It's just a matter of time. Time is coming very soon, Time is coming very soon. They say time longer than twine. Anyway, take care.
All right, my brother. All right, you have a good one. Yes, indeed. No, we hear the Prime. I ain't putting up a picture today. No, you just play the audio. Yeah, you just play that.
The St. John's River project is in fact a priority. I had said previously that the quotation we got for constructing 2 concrete builds was in excess of $30 million. And yes, in excess of $30 million. And
in fact, let me put up the video because I think it's best to see the data and everything that on it and all of that information. Yeah, so let me put up the video and start from it.
The St. John's River project is in fact a priority. I had said previously that the quotation we got for constructing 2 concrete builds was in excess of $30 million. And yes, in excess of $30 million. And in those circumstances, unless there was absolutely no other alternative but those 2 bridges, we obviously had to find ways to ensure that we were getting value for money. I'm happy to report to the member for the town of St. George that in fact there are alternatives. And some of the alternatives are perhaps in keeping with some of the more aesthetically historic and pleasing features that the area of River Road has. We have a historic green bridge there which should really be preserved and turned into something rather than sitting rotting. But we have procured, Mr. Speaker, 2 steel bridges at a fraction of the cost. The bridges are in fact on the island. They've been shipped, they've arrived. The designs for the abutments of the bridges are more or less completed. We expect that the design review process will take place. And once that commences, then the time frame for in fact installing the bridges will be reduced significantly, because as opposed to actually having to build a concrete bridge, which will take a significant time, you're actually building just the abutments and the assembling. So rest assured, MP for the town of St. George, we appreciate the need to ensure that this project is completed, and we should be able to provide further updates. There are alternatives, and some of the alternatives are perhaps in keeping with some of the more aesthetically historic and pleasing features that the area of River Road has. We have a historic green bridge there which should really be preserved and turned into something rather than sitting rotting. But we have procured, Mr. Speaker, 2 steel bridges at a fraction of the cost. The bridges are in fact on the island. They've been shipped, they've arrived. The designs for the abutments of the bridges are more or less completed. We expect that the design review process will take place. And once that commences, then the time frame for in fact installing the bridges will be reduced significantly, because as opposed to actually having to build a concrete bridge, which will take a significant time, you're actually building just the abutments and the assembling. So rest assured.
Yes, so the bridges are in Grenada, according to the Prime Minister, and that is since March of last year. Meanwhile, River Road people had to sleep with one ear open and an eye open and the other one closed, and say, I sleep like rare, because they had to be listening for if the river coming down to be able to go and move their vehicles if their vehicles are parked along the main road. Yeah? Or those who are living on the lower level, they have to be careful because the water is going to come inside of their homes. Yeah? So they have to be sleeping now, uncomfortable during the rainy season, simply because of the incompetence of the Prime Minister / Minister of Works of Grenada, who since March of last year, and I'll continue to talk about it until the people get a bridge, who since March of last year promised the people of River Road and the MP for Town of St. George that the bridges are in Grenada, the designs are more or less complete, because I know it's taking a year and how much months to complete the designs to put on to bridge. I'm sure it ain't taking that amount of time. Because afterwards we heard the technical officer in another interview speaking about
contributing factors to the things that we've seen is further upstream within the river's catchment. Because we have more impervious surfaces being constructed, everybody has a paved driveway. They have the downspouts being positioned into the roadside drains and to the rivers as well. So that also increases the volume of the water that we experience coming downstream in St. John's River. The river that goes to St. John's River and empties out by the stadium basically comes from areas above Bolio, Boca, and makes its way down into the channel. So our proposed designs in the river has to be mindful of all of these things. The intended plan, especially closest to the stadium, is to create a new humpback bridge. The current design of the existing humpback bridge, because it is lower, close to the edge of the road, it becomes blocked with bamboo and other pieces of logs and debris, and that also now creates a hydraulic jump in the river that forces the...
Just remember, all of this isn't being spoken about now, you know. This is last year before River Road ended up in the situation it ended up in there. Anyhow.
To the stadium. So essentially, until we can seal up all of the spaces in the river that the water would exit through, we are likely to experience similar issues. So within the ministry now, our current plan is to attack the construction of these bridges in the dry season coming up. If we do have a dry season,
yeah, that was supposed to be the dry season that just ended. And again, I'm not blaming this young man. He's saying what the plan is. But if he doesn't get the backing of those in power and they don't give him the tools to do the job and they don't have the wherewithal to get the job done, he could only wish the best, you know. He can't do nothing.
As Mr. Walters would say, the climatic conditions are likely to be crazy. So ideally, if we do have a proper dry season, we'll be cracking off with some work in the river to construct the bridges and complete the project. So at least we should be able to realize some of the benefits we experience.
Okay, while you have...
So that was last year. That was last year. I think it was after the weather event. Yes. So that was on the 19th of November last year. After you had those weather events and what was taking place in River Road, that I think he's one of the senior people in ministry that works there that came to speak about what has to be done. You remember, since March, you had the Prime Minister saying the two bridges in Grenada, just the design that had to do, and then, well, no, the design was nearly complete, pretty much complete, and then it's just to review the design and go ahead. Nothing. Today, the 4th day of July, 2025, I like to double check and make sure I'm saying the right thing. The 4th day of July, 2025, nothing. All you see a backhoe, all you see a man with a shovel, all you even see a man with a hoe, a spade, anything. All you see a fellow with a cutlass even. Start work on that project. Nothing. Let me sit down proper. Nothing. I didn't take blame for that. No, don't blame. Oh, NNP had a bad design. Yeah? NNP had a bad design. That's the nonsense that they're coming with. The NNP had a bad design to the project. Nothing these people taking blame for. Nothing. Folks are telling you, give me a call and let me know anything that you know these people take blame for. Give me a call Let me know anything that you know these people take blame for. I want to know, serious. 1473440. Because it's a childish mentality, and when people say that they're childish, they just come and they want to fire back, all your old. Prime Minister and me only 1 year difference in age, you know. The Prime Minister and Delma Thomas only 1 year difference in age this year. 1 year difference. Yeah? Or 2 years, no, in the case of Delma Thomas, 2 years difference. Yeah? Because she is 2 years older than myself, and 1 year old, 3 years older than the Prime Minister. Yeah. 2 years older than me, 3 years older than the Prime Minister. And I'm just 1 year older than him. Yeah? So if I old, he old too. Don't get top of the gray beard. I'll shave it off already and look youngish again. 1473-440-7377. Those are the numbers for you to call and get on to the inside of tonight's program. And folks, I nearly get cussed because the program time nearly up and I would get real rough up. Breakfast taking place tomorrow. Yes, up by my daughter area up there. Breakfast sale taking place River Sally Junction. Yeah, that's taking place tomorrow morning from 7:30 a.m. The St. Patrick East constituency branch of the New National Party. They are going to be having a magnificent breakfast. That's going to be eggs, salt fish sauce, hot dogs, coconut bakes, bread, fried breadfruit, coconut tea. No, not coconut tea, no, cocoa tea. But you know some people just put a little coconut in cocoa tea. Cocoa tea. Not brush tea and all. What kind of brush tea is that? Bush tea. I'll go in and type the thing proper. Tanya log and juice. So that's going to be happening tomorrow. Right? Somebody must come and actually brush tea in truth. That is taking place tomorrow. First time I noticed it, you know. That is going to be taking place tomorrow at the River Sally Junction from 7:30 a.m. The St. Patrick East branch of the New National Party, they'll be having that breakfast. And then the St. Patrick West constituency branch, they're also having breakfast tomorrow. That's going to be the spicy Grenadian breakfast, $10 per box. They have on the menu Tanya log, cocoa tea, bush tea, bakes and saltfish, fried fish, cuckoo, bakes and smoke herring, and provision. See if it's me now. I'll lash in a piece of books, bakes and smoke herring with provision. Then I'm coming back for some smoke herring, hold the bakes and give me the cuckoo. And then, yeah, because I just eat a lot one already, yeah. I'll take a little bakes with a fried fish and then a bakes with the saltfish. I'll wash that down with some bush tea, some cocoa tea, and when I relax, I'll drink some Tanya log. Yeah, by the time I leave up there, I swell. Spicy Grenadian breakfast. And folks, let me tell you all something. This is the kind of thing the tourists and them want when they come here. They want no McDonald's and them kind of thing. That's what they want. They want to come here and experience our food. Yeah, when they come, they want a Grenadian breakfast. They want, hey, where I could go and find a Grenadian breakfast. That's why I like that place over on Kirani James Boulevard there, just by way Patterson Tires used to, old people go know. Where Patterson Tires used to be there, right across, yeah, right over by that side there, right after Brighton and Miners. Nice, yes, got a nice Grenadian breakfast day. Good night to all of you. Some of you might hear it in the morning who work in there. All right. Also, well, the after work line, that's still taking place. People winding down, shaking leg and all kind of thing there right now, playing the dominoes and thing. All right. And then remember my friend, I will never forget her. I'll always put her up. Nice. Yes. Kelani. Nice. It's Kelani. Yeah, that's yes, indeed, folks. She does need our help. And also, I don't want to leave without playing this one too. Yeah, I must play this one for me. My good partner there. Yeah, my good partners. Yeah, not one. My good partners. Let me play these for you.
For more information, contact WeNoise TV at 929-445-4463, or you can email us at wenoisetv@gmail.com. WeNoise TV, the leading streaming provider. Anytime, anywhere, any screen. Access to your favorite HD contents with prices as low as ever. Choose from monthly, quarterly, or yearly payments. This worldwide service is flexible for you to keep up with all your favorite programs, shows, movies, and local programming from home no matter where you travel to. Worldwide TV channels right at your fingertips wherever you are. Latest in live sports, binge watch all your favorite TV shows, movies on demand, videos on demand. You can pause, rewind, fast forward anytime. Never miss 1 minute in entertainment important to you. No contracts, no added prices for sports or premium packages. We certainly don't have to pull tricks like cable and satellite companies. Our product speaks for itself and beyond. We Noise TV. We have everything like Netflix, Disney, Amazon. Watch your favorite movies, TV shows, and series with our services. With our service, you will get rid of all other subscriptions. For more information, contact We Noise TV at 929-445-4463, or you can email us at wenoisetv@gmail.com.
Fitness Revolution 11 2025, 16 days of fun, fitness, laughter, energy. I just want to encourage everybody to come down to both Tantin, Old Trafford playing field and Monroe's Grenada for our eventful fun, fitness and giveaways. Fitness Revolution 11, one and all. See you there.
Yes, indeed. I encouraging no, Fit for Life not sponsoring my show. Let me tell you that straight, because some of them so fast they go feel that again, some kind of money or some kind of thing from Fit for Life. No. Yeah? I believe it's something good, and I put it up and not getting no money from no Fit for Life. I want to make sure people know, because people so bad mind and all kind of thing. Next thing they start a bad mind Fit for Life and say, hey, get money there. Stupidness. Nothing so. Yes, indeed, folks. It has been a wonderful week being here with you, and we've discussed quite a lot. There are several things that I must say before we close off the program for this week, though. One, I tend to do it, and it's a mistake that I make, and I want to apologize for that, because unlike other people, I apologize, yeah? I often forget to mention the fact that we should continue registration, that we should focus on all ensuring that, one, that we are registered, that we check the voters list, we make sure our name hasn't magically disappeared from the list, that we also check the list for friends and associates, other people that we know support and want to vote, because remember, a vote for anything other than the NNP is a vote for the NDC. I just make sure you understand that. Anything you vote for outside of the NNP is a vote for the NDC, because it's a vote that you are taking away from the new National Party, and therefore you are trying to damage the new National Party. So any vote for anything else other than the NNP is an anti-NNP vote. You have a responsibility to check the list and make sure that all of your NNP voters are there. But you also have a responsibility to check the voters list and make sure that people that ought not to be on the list. And I will not be able to take the call at this time. I'm sorry. I'm going to have to mute it. I'm not able to take the call. It's nearly time for me to go. Yeah. Also, we have to check the list for people who ought not to be on the list and are on the list. Yeah? There are deceased people who people taken off the list. And then when the list come back, the deceased people reappearing on the list again after the electoral office was already notified that these people have died and should no longer be on the list. A new list coming back, and these people, even if they've been taken off, reappearing on the list again. We need to ensure that we monitor those things, because we don't want those who have gone to the great beyond to meet our Maker to on election day rise and cast a ballot. We ain't want that to be happening. Yeah? So we must make sure, yeah, that election day, they don't also end up being judgment day and the dead rise in Christ and come to cast ballots. So we must check the list properly and ensure that those people have been removed from the list. We all also need to lend as much support as we can to the individual caretakers in our constituency. There is this thing, not plentiful, but by one or two people, that me like that caretaker or that is the caretaker they bring. Let me explain to you. You ain't like the caretaker. You want to be the one vote that caused the NDC to return to office. You want an additional amount of years of what Grenada has been going through for the last 3 years. You want to see a 5 years of that. So you have to make up your mind what it is you want. It is not just about the caretaker, and these are caretakers. I've seen situations before where caretakers end up there up until a month and two before election and they never end up on the ballot. Come nomination, there was another person that ended up on the ballot. Not just in Grenada, I've seen it in other countries as well. So a person can be a caretaker to lead the job of the party in the constituency. But the main thing is to ensure that the constituency is organized properly, that your constituency groups are in order, that your polling division groups are in order, that you have done your canvassing, both your hot and your cold canvassing, that you are ready. Because remember, the bell is not being rung by the New National Party. The bell is being rung by the NDC. And there are no fixed term limits, so you don't know that election is going to be this day or that day. They can decide to call an election next month. They could decide to call one tonight. And in how much days you have an election basically before August is finished. The Prime Minister has all that power, you know. He could call an election right now and before the end of August, election could done. Yeah? So we have to ensure that we are always ready. And we can't take the approach, because I hear some people with this approach, and let me warn you all, that is a dangerous, dangerous, dangerous approach to take. There's an approach that is being taken by some individuals of when the bell ring, I go do my thing. You see, that's stupidness. Let me warn all you. Don't come around me and never say that, because I'll go embarrass all you. I wouldn't do it for other people to hear, but I'll go embarrass you to your face. Don't tell me you're waiting until when things heat up, and that is when you go start to do this, and that is when you go start to do that, because that time will be too late. Do the work from now. You're not in the driver's seat. You're not holding state power. There's a lot of work to be done. Some people sit down. Oh, I ain't bothering with them. We win in that next election. I'm just waiting for the thing to start and then I go do my thing. You go do what thing? You mean lose? That is what thing you go do. The thing you go do is lose. You have to do what you have to do now. The time is now, not tomorrow. The time is now. We have work to do. Fall in line. Call in all the troops. Fall in line. They have been coming down in their multitudes and registering in places they should not register. You can't get them move off the list because you know why? It's not sheldon to go and look at the list for, let's say, St. Mark or St. John or St. Andrew, Southeast or Southwest, and say that this person's supposed to come off and that person's supposed to come off. I can't do it. I don't know the people. You know your community and you know who is who. So put a face to every name on the list. Not just the name, oh, I know this person. Put a face to every name on the list. Warning you all, you know. Because some of you may have the better candidate, the better campaign, and losing the numbers. Because you do have the better numbers. And you do have the better numbers because your list has been padded. And the only way the electoral office could deal with that is if they are informed officially. Then they have to take action in relation to it. The time is now. Let us get the job done. Folks, that's all the time I have for talking points tonight. It's been wonderful being here for you. And in everything you say and do it safe and secure. Want to be speaking to and with you and definitely not about you. Love each and every one of you. My name's Sheldon Scott. We'll be back on Monday night. No, we won't be on Sunday. I have an activity on Sunday I cannot get out of. So we'll be back on Monday, God's willing, with more talking points for you. Love each and every one of you, and we'll be back on Monday, God's willing, with talking points for you.
In my father's house, there are many mansions. If it wasn't so, I would have told you. Oh, yo, walking in the footsteps of the Lord. I wake up in the morning, and before I eat my bread, brother man, I get on my knees and I give Jah praise. The day was not so moving, but before I go to bed, brother man, I get on my knees and I give Jah praise. 'Cause things could have been so different if Jah didn't love me. Love me. I say things could have been so very different if Jah didn't love me. Jah build my house, no man can break it down. Jah build my house, no man can break it down. I say, Jah build my house, nobody can break it down. Jah build my house, no man can break it down. Wicked people, make no sense, you try. Jah watch over right. Jah build my house, no man can break it down. No way. Jah build my house, nobody can break it down. I say, Jah build it. Jah build my house. On solid rock I stand. Oh, my Father, oh Lord, they can't break it down. The weather keep on changing in a funny kind of way, but I get on my knees and I give Jah praise. When and what is coming, the weatherman can't say. Still I get on my knees and I give Jah praise. 'Cause things could have been so crucial if Jah didn't love me. Love me. I say things could have been so very brutal if Jah didn't love me. Jah build my house, no man can break it down. I say, Jah build my house, nobody can break it down. Jah build my house, no man can break it down. No way. Jah build my house, nobody can break it down. Jealous people, stop your mama guy. Jah watch over right. Jah build my house, no man could break it down. I say, Jah build my house, nobody can tear it down. No way. Jah build it. My father build my house. Oh Lord. On solid rock I stand. I try my best to live up and to do what